Assalamualaikum and hi. We are from Group 3 and the given topic for our project is genetic algorithm. And we choose exam timetabling for our case study. Timetabling that we make have a lot of improvement and some hard and soft constraints that will make the exam timetabling easier. And the hard and soft constraint will be discussed later in this coding. The first part of this coding is file.upload, where we upload the data from our local storage to this coding. And next, uh, import several function that we use in the coding. Pandas, which is pandas, numpy, matplotlib, and seaborn. Pandas is an open source Python package that is most widely used for data science, data analysis, and machine learning tasks. It will it is built on top of another package named NumPy, which provides support for multi-dimensional arrays. As one of the most popular data wrangling package, pandas work well with many other data science modules inside the Python ecosystem. And NumPy is a library for the Python programming language, adding support for large multi-dimensional arrays, matrices, along with a large collection of high-level mathematical functions to operate on these arrays. Next, we initialize all the upload data to the F1 until the F7, and then I just display this because I want to see the data, and this is all the data that we have uploaded. Next, we is where we merge all 7 data file that we upload in the first part, so that it's easy for us to conduct the data into our code. And this is where I view all the data. So from this single data, we merge all the data into one page. And then I initialize data to the F13. And then we install Colorama with pip install Colorama. Colorama provides simple cross-platform API to print colored terminal text from Python application. So this is not really important for this code, but we use it to make the output looks great and easier to understand the output. And you also import random here because we will use it for the random population and also the random max generation. Next, we initialize all 10 halls here so that to meet the height constraint, to meet the criteria of our height constraint. And we also set the day so that no exam will be held on weekend, so all weekdays. And last but not least, we also have to make sure that every exam must be an invigilator, or we call here is teachers. So for the first class is student data class. So the first init function with the parameter of self, name, and courses. We initialize self.name as name and self.course as an array. And then we add courses into course.append. And the append method add a single item to the existing list. It doesn't return a new list of item, but will modify the original list by adding the item to end of the list. After executing the method append on the list, the size of the list increase by 1. Next is the function to add student with the parameters of student list, name, and CC. In this function, we will add every student with at least 3 courses for each of them. So this is for the loop. This for loop will loop all the name in the student list. If the student name is equal to the name that has been passed to this function, it will execute next, which is if function, which is if cc not in student.courses. This means that if the student not in the course, it will add the student into the course. So after the end of the loop, it will call student data for the new student to come in, to add a new student. Next is the class for the schedule. The first init function in this class is with the parameter of self, date, and fitness. We initialize all the variable as shown here. And next function is, and the next function is cost in list with the parameter of courses and code. For the for loop is used to loop the cost in the courses data that we have uploaded earlier. In the loop, the if function is to check whether the code is equal to the cost. If it true, then it will return the value. It will return true, and if not, it will return false. False. Next is function load data. In this function, it will load each CSV file into appropriate data types for future use. So the function is called load data, and first is for the courses. With open courses.csv new line and UTF-8 as the encoding as CSV file. This is to provide the dataset. UTF-8 is capable of encoding all 1 million valid character code points in Unicode using 1 to 4 byte code units. This line, it will load the courses that have been added before. This, and then this will be also the same, and this will be also the same for teachers and also the student list. It's the same, but slightly different code inside. Next is print custom class. It will look for the class in classes list here, and we initialize all the variable, which is the morning paper, morning invigilator, noon paper, and noon invigilator to print the output. Remember that we install the colorama earlier, so this is where we use it. We just name the color here, like cyan, green, black, cyan, green, yellow, black. So, and it will make easier for us to write the code and to observe the output later. Next is print custom schedule. In this function, we will print the schedule for each student. In this for loop, days in schedule days is where it will loop the day of the exam where we have initialized earlier. This is just redesign the output here. We just design the output and to make it look good and easier to read the output later. And then for print classes list, this is where in this loop it will just print the class for class in classes list. Next is the function for print schedule. If length schedule is more than 0, is bigger than 0, it will execute to call print classes list. It will call this function with the parameter of schedule days. Next is print population. Is this print population is also the same as before, but it will print a schedule count here, and also the fitness before calling the function print classes list. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is Mama Azad and I will continue my friend explaining about our coding. So here we will generate the population, and in this generate population we will have a population size, courses and teachers. So here we will create a classroom equal to room name, morning, if it morning, noon and if it noon. Next, we will generate the number of the classrooms, and we will randomly picking the morning course and the invigilator for the morning, and the picking for the noon course and invigilator for the noon. And next, we will see if there is no inspection or argument list, and we will return the new pop. Here we will create hash constraint all courses, and we will insert a schedule as courses here, which means every exam is allocated for is scheduled for every course. And here we will get the list of all exam in the schedule week, and we examine every classroom that is assigned. And here we will list all the exams and get the list of all exam codes of all the courses. And this we will compare the two lists and the number of courses that is not listed. If missing equal to 0, it will become true. If not, it will become missing equal to missing plus 1. And if all the condition is satisfied, it will return the number and the boolean check. Here we will create hash constraint 3 courses, and we will insert the course allocation. Here it is meaning that the student is allocated for minimum 3 courses. So if a student is registered in less than 3 courses, it will return false. Else it will become true. So, and then we will create hash constraint clashing exams, because we don't want the exam subject to be clash with other subject, because we don't want the student, because we only want the student has one exam at a time. So in this we will insert schedule and course allocation. Here we will get in the list of all exams and store the exams that has in that day. And here we will get in the list of classroom and get the list of all exams on morning or and noon, examine all students and their allocated courses, and checking if the record clashes for a student. So we will check the exam only has at the specific time, and the counting clashes in morning for a student. And if the condition is fulfilled successfully, it will return the number and the boolean check. Next, we will create the hash constraint teachers same time, and we will insert the schedule. We will keep this because we don't want the teacher clashes at the same time. Here we will get the list of all teachers in the morning and the noon, and getting the number of duplicate entries. Next, we will calculate the number of clashes. If value equal more than 1, the clashes equal to clashes plus 1. So if clashes equal to 0, the boolean check is equal to true, and it will return the number equal to number and boolean check. Next, we will create a constraint teacher of the same row. We create this because we don't want no teacher has duties in a row. So here we will get in the list of all the teachers on morning and noon, and calculated the number of consecutive duties, and we will create if statement for whether if the consecutive equal to 0, the boolean will become true, and number equal to 1/1 plus consecutive. And then we will return the number and boolean check. Next, we will create his constraint course schedule once. This we create this because we doesn't want because we want one course to be scheduled only once. So here we will get the list of all the courses, and then we counting the courses scheduled more than once. If schedule if the value is more than 4, it will become repeated equal to repeated plus 1, and if the repeated equal to 0, the boolean will become true. And if the other constraint is satisfied completely, it will return number and boolean check. Next, we create as constraint less days, which is we want to check the schedule in less days. So here we will get schedule for each day and check if nothing is scheduled. If all of it is fulfilled, then we return number and the number of days. Here we will create constraint mg before, and we will insert schedule and the cost allocation. So which means we doesn't want, if the student have the both mg courses and cs courses, it will determine which one is the priority. So we check if a student option both CS and MG courses, and it will list the student meeting the condition. And for the student that have the both, it will check the schedule for all 5 days of each student, and it will store all exam for that day. Next, it will check if the CS course of student comes before MG. If MG comes after CS, if CS course comes before MG, it comes true. And this will be if MG comes after CS, it become I equal to I plus 1. So then if the condition is satisfied completely, it will return number and boolean check. Next, we create constraints satisfy check. So here all hard constraints we will check if all hard constraint is satisfied. So at least one soft constraint, which means 2 already satisfied by default. So it will return true. If not, it will return false. Next, we will define print check. Here you want to create a result for the coding, which is exam is scheduled for each course, blah 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 and blah blah. H2 equal to student cannot give more than one exam at a time. So here we will show our result. We want to assign to show our result. As you can see, break on Friday, student should not give more than one exam. Next, we will create constraint certified print. In here, we will include schedule, courses, and courses allocation. We will print all the results here. Here we want to calculate the fitness, which is we include the population, course, and courses allocation. Because we want each schedule in a population. Here we will calculate the fitness of the schedule and add the fitness to the class. If the empty days is bigger than 7, schedule fitness will become -2. We want no schedule with too many empty days added. So here we will return the fitness. Now we will select two fittest solution. So here we will sort the fittest. We will sort the fittest solution in descending order. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello and good evening, Doctor. So right now I will explain the codes that not been explained yet. So first, the function parent selection, we will be using the population as the parameter, and then the parents will be assigned the variable parents with the array and total fitness is equal to 0. And then we want to get the two fittest solution by using this code. Highest and second highest is equal to the two fittest schedule. And then when the length of parent is less than the length of population, we will be getting the random index and the individual chosen based on its probability. And then the function of mixed days, we will be using parent A and parent B as a parameter. It will generating a new schedule, and this code will make the random crossover point. And then this code it will be taking that off days from first parent, and as it will be taking rest of days from second parent. And then the mutate schedule, it is the applying mutation of chromosomes. If this less than the mutation probability multiplied by 100, it will checking problem for mutation, checking probability for mutation. And then it will be selecting the random number of days to change. And this line, this code is to choosing the random day. And if length is greater than 0, it will change one class at time, randomly replacing invigilator, cause, and so on. And then this line is generating the numbers of classroom, and then it will be randomly picking morning course, invigilator for morning, noon, and so on. And then the function of apply crossover is using the population as a parameter and the crossover probability as a parameter. And then when the crossover population length is less than the population length, it will be execute this code. It will be rather than selecting fittest parent or selecting a random parent. And then it will be return the crossover population, this code. And then the function of apply mutation is using the population, mutation probability, cost teachers as the parameter. And then it will be execute with the deep copy. And then it will be return the mutated population. And then this is the main point, the main implementation of this project. I think I don't want to explain this. I want to explain the main function. Okay, so this is the main function. So firstly, we will want to load the data from the list of courses, list of teachers, and list of course allocation. So the data we will can get from this CSV, this Excel file. This is the list of course. This is the list of the student course, which we will be taking, and then the student names and the teachers, and so on. And then we can assign the population size to the fixed value, but in this project, I would like to just use the random numbers between 50 and 200 population size. I think I can assign it to 100 and so on, but I think it will be good if we use a random. So max generation also random, and crossover probability is 1, mutation rate is 0.6, and then the function print just print the numbers that generated in this line, and then all of these values we will be passing to the genetic algo. We will go to the genetic algo. So this is the, like I said before, this is the main implementation. Okay, so it will be used the population size, max generation, crossover probability, and so on. If the student has less than 3 cores, it will be terminating this program. But in this code, I have assigned every student have larger than 3 cores. Then you will be generating the list of schedule by using this function, generate population. Foreseeing it algorithm is unable to optimize further, it will be assign it all of the 0, counter 0, and so on. If the algorithm can optimize further, it will generating this line, this code. It will be evaluating fitness, highlighting parents through roulette wheel selection, applying crossover, applying mutation, finding fittest candidates. This code can be seen on this what you call flowchart. Flowchart. Evaluating fitness, selecting parent, applying crossover, and mutation, and so on. It will be keep repeating until it will get the best of the best answer, best of the best optimization. If best version is none, is stagnant will be to 0, and so on lah. So if they have found the best solution, it will be generate this function. If the stagnant is equal to 50, and this counter, if less than 3, algorithm is unable to optimize further, and so on. Then it will be generating new population if there is not meet any requirement on this code. So I will show you the output of this algorithm of this project. So I will start the terminal, the Python terminal, and then I will try to debug, run all, and then these are the generated parameters. And it just took 8.2 seconds to get the full optimized answer. So I will open the full output, and then as you can see, it is the fitness values, and then this 4 must be ticked, but this one has no tick. And then if all of these 4, if one of these 4 is not meet the requirement, does not have a tick, it will be looping, as you can see on this flowchart. And then it try to loop, and then this 4 has meet the requirement. So HC1 is 1.0, this HC2, HC3, HC4. So all of these 4 is 1.0. So it has meet the requirement. SC1, SC is soft constraint, H hard constraint. This soft constraint is not needed, is not optional. It's optional but not needed because it has been assigned as a default correct value. And then I don't know what is going on, but I will show you at the Google Colab. So this is the full answer, so the full timetable for the output of this project. So like this, the output of this project. So this is the hard constraint, soft constraint. So what I want to say for this project, it keep repeating to get the fitness value, which is 1.0 like this. If you don't believe, I will show you. I will print all the values of hard constraint, HC1, HC2, HC3, HC4, and then I save it. I start. And clear output, and then run all. You can see this is the all of the values that has been generated. 1.0, 1.0, this is not meet the requirement, not the requirement, and then it will be looping until they get the answer. And then this is the answer. It will be looping until it get the answer. So HC1 is 1.0, 1.0, 1.0, 1.0. And then it will print the the timetable. So if one of these 4 is not meet the requirement, it will keep looping until all of these 4 have a tick, the green tick like this. If not, it will be looping like this flowchart. 1.0, 1.0, 1.0, 1.0. So I think that's all from us. Thank you.